going to go ahead and show you how to solve this equation right here. So in order for us to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to substitute these two numbers. And this is what I mean when we're going to solve a system, we're not necessarily solving here. We're just determining if a point or an ordered pair is a solution of equations to the system, right? And the way we can do this through substitution. And substitution is going to be something that we do later on. But right now, what we're doing is we're just checking to see if this point is going to be true. So right now we have that x is -2 and we have y equals 1, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have 6. And instead of the x, we're going to plug in our -2. So I'm going to put a parenthesis. And then I'm going to finish writing this -3. And then instead of the y, we're going to put a parenthesis, and I'm going to put the y in there, equals -15. And essentially, that's what we're doing for both. So we're going to do that for the first equation, and we're going to do that for the second equation. And all we're doing is we're checking to see if this equation, if this point is true for both of these. And I don't know why I wrote this. There should just be y plus y, right? So this equation should be this one right here. Right, 2x plus y, remember that's red, and then equals -3 equals -3. All right, so let's plug them in. So I'm going to plug in -2 into here. I'm going to plug 1 into here. And now I've got -12. Let's keep that in green. -12 minus 3 equals -15. Is that true? Yes, it is, right? I know that when I add these two together, -12 minus 3, we get -15. Now let's check to see if the second one is true. I'm going to plug in -2, and I'm going to plug in 1. Well, let's see. Is -4 plus 1 equal to -3? Yes, it is. That's also true. I know that when I have -4, I add 1, I get -3, so it's true for both. So yes, this is a solution. Now let's do that again here. Right? Instead of writing the x, we're going to go ahead and say we've got x is -4. We know that y is -1. So let's go ahead and plug those in. So -5 times -4 plus y, which is -1, equals 19. Let's check if that's true. -5 times -4 becomes +20. Plus -1, remember that just means that it's -1. Does that equal 19? Yes, it does. I know that when I finish this up, this is true. So we've got our first one checked. Now let's check our second one. X plus 7. And instead of the y, we're going to plug in -1, right? That y will go right in here. Does that equal 3? Well, let's see. Let's plug in our -4, right? Let's plug in our -4 into here. Does -4 minus 7 equal +3? No. This is not true. This is a big X. So this means that it's not a solution. I'm going to have you guys try this one. But before we get to this point, let me just finish up this video. Unless you guys want to pause the video right. Actually, let's just pause the video right now and have you guys try this. And then you can keep playing the video once some of you guys are done. I'm going to start the solution now. Okay, so I'm going to write 2, and instead of the x, I'm going to write a parenthesis in there. Instead of the y, I'm going to put a parenthesis. I'm just going to write this, right? And I know that here, x is -4, and I know that y is 6. So on the x, I'm going to plug in -4. On the y, I'm going to plug in 6. And that's going to check my first equation here. All right. -8 plus 30, does that equal 22? Yes, it does. It's true for the first one. All right, so it's looking good. Let's check the second one. So I'm going to rewrite this, but without the variables. Negative 3, parenthesis, negative 4, plus 5, parenthesis, actually not plus 5, just plus 6, right? Just y. Does that equal 18? This is negative 12 plus 6. Ooh, actually, no, this is positive 12, right? This positive 12 plus 6 equal 18. Right, this is because of negative times a negative equals a positive. 12 plus 6 is indeed 18, so this is true. So yes, this is a solution. Perfect. And that's it. So we're almost done. We have 5 more examples, which will be very quick. All right. So let's go ahead and um, we're going to just graph this and just make sure that we remember how to graph our lines, right? This is just review. So let's review. So if you guys remember, my m here is going to be negative 2, right? This is in y equals m x plus b, right? So my m is negative 2, my b is positive 6. So b is my starting point, it's always my y-intercept, right? This is my y, this is my y-int. So I'm at plus 6 here. Now we gotta go, right? My slope is negative 2 over 1, so we gotta go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Most of you guys know how to do this already, remember. So there's my answer. Done. This is the harder one, right? Where we can't just graph it because we're not in y equals mx plus b form. In order for us to do that, we have to first subtract 6x. I get 2y, right? And now Anthony's probably going like, rewrite it. And now we divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. And we get y is equal to negative 3x plus 5. And remember, my slope is negative 3 over 1. My b is 5. So we're going to go to 5. And then we're going to go down 3 over 1. Down 3 over 1. Down 3 over 1. This is enough. And that's our line here. And we are done. All right. 3 more problems here. Let's go ahead and review. This is just you guys. Honestly, what I suggest is you guys trying these by yourselves. I would pause the video and try it, and then start this video for you guys to see how to solve for it. But I'm going to start to solve it right now. All right. So we're here. We're just solving for x, right? So let's go ahead and subtract. I know I have to subtract because we've got positive 19, so we have to cancel it out by subtracting it. And I get 6x is equal to 30. Now, we usually always divide at the end, so we're dividing by 6, and we get x is 5. That's my first answer. Now let's solve for x here, right? I have a constant of positive 5, so I'm going to subtract 5, and I get 3x is equal to negative 6. And just as usual, we're going to divide for the end, and I get x is equal to negative 2. So we're done with that one. These are two-step equations. And these are the hard ones, right? These are the ones that we have to rewrite and solve for y. So let's do that. I'm trying to solve for y, so that means we got to get rid of the positive 2x. Right? So I'm going to subtract 2x. Now we get 9y is equal to negative 2x plus 5, right? This is a positive. You can also keep it as 5 minus 2x, but I like to put the x first. And then we divide at the end, so everything is going to get divided by 9. I know that negative 2, negative 2 and 9, they're prime to each other, which means they can't be divided into anything smaller. So we're just going to leave this as negative 2 over 9x. And then 5 over 9, we can't do anything with 5 over 9. Those are also prime to each other, so we're just going to leave it as so. And that's it. Those are my equations. That's my answer. Sorry for the 2 videos. There will be another video for tomorrow. Again, please be good to Miss Sosa and follow her direction. I will be there 4th period if you guys have any questions. but I hope this was helpful. All right, see you guys later.